This is a Reconstructionist radio production. Please visit kuiper.org to download this book or purchase a physical copy. The Politics of God and the Politics of Man, Essays on Politics, Religion and Social Order by Stephen C. Perks, copyright 2016, Stephen C. Perks, the Kuiper Foundation, Taunton, England.
Chapter 9 Education and the Great Commission. Section 1 The Cultural Crisis. Modern Britain faces a serious cultural crisis. The Christian worldview that once characterized our society has collapsed. This is not merely a matter of declining church attendance. Something has happened at a much more profound level in the psyche of the nation that declining church attendance and many other modern trends are merely symptoms of. Christianity has ceased to function as public truth, i.e., as the religion that underpins and gives meaning to our way of life. The nation has converted to a new religion, and it is in terms of this new religion that people make sense of life. The nation has been de-Christianized. The worldview that governs our society is no longer a Christian worldview. The worldview that governs the nation is secular humanism. It is the worldview of secular humanism that now functions as public truth in our society. And as the religion of secular humanism grows stronger, the Christian values that underpinned and shaped our civilization for over 1,000 years are being relentlessly stripped away from the consciousness and life of the nation. The education system, the healthcare system, the family, the institutions of government, and strangely even the institutional church, were all de-Christianized in the 20th century. In education, there is a strong ethos of secularism that deprecates the nation's Christian cultural heritage, emphasizes a multi-faith approach to religion, and promotes the acceptance of sexual immorality, for example, sexually permissive lifestyles and homosexual marriage, as morally on a par with heterosexual marriage. In the health system, abortion is now accepted and practiced virtually on demand, and euthanasia is in the process of being legitimized. In the realm of politics, the nation's freedom has been abolished and replaced by fraudulent human rights that are meaningless to the individual, the real purpose of which seems to be to disguise the increasingly totalitarian nature of the state. The married heterosexual two-parent family, the Christian view of the family, has declined drastically over recent decades and continues to decline with disastrous social consequences. And there is even an ongoing and relentless drive in the mainline Christian denominations to legitimize homosexual lifestyles as morally acceptable. The orthodox faith of the Church, once received and expressed in the 39 Articles, the doctrinal confession of the Church, has virtually disappeared in the excessively liberal gospel that has been preached from church pulpits for decades. Within evangelical churches on the whole, things are not much better. Evangelical liberalism is a little out of date perhaps, but it is liberalism nonetheless. There is in Britain now a settled and institutionalized antipathy to the Christian faith and its system of moral values. At times, this attitude manifests itself almost as belligerence, as the state uses the police force to enforce its secular humanist doctrines of political correctness on society. For example, the public expression of certain Christian values and attitudes to morality is now likely to result in police visits and warnings to individuals that they should abstain from expressing such opinions publicly in the future. Several such incidents have been reported in the media, and even a bishop of the Church of England has been questioned by the police for expressing his opinions on certain moral values in public, though this latter incident was perhaps more significant for the fact that an Anglican bishop was prepared to make a stand in terms of Orthodox Christian moral values than that the police tried to suppress the public expression of such values. Nevertheless, the fact that the police are increasingly taking it upon themselves to enforce this politically correct code of immorality demonstrates the reality of secular humanism as a religion that is willing and able to use the full machinery of the state to enforce its own form of religious dogma on society, namely political correctness. This is the secular humanist inquisition. In short, Britain is in the process of being decommissioned as a Christian nation, and the hard-won freedoms that the nation cherished for so long, which were the fruit of a Christian worldview and way of life, are fast disappearing as society rejects the Christian religion. This cultural decline, however, is not confined to the UK. This is a problem that affects the West, generally, though to varying degrees in different countries. We are in the middle of a great decommission, and the irony is that the churches themselves have not only been complicit in this, but have often been in the vanguard of the process. For example, feminism, one of the most deleterious trends in modern Western society, was pioneered by the Church. The effeminate spirituality, i.e., the primarily emotional and sentimental understanding of the Christian faith, that has now come to dominate virtually all branches of the Western Church, was in the vanguard of the feminist movement. After nearly 2,000 years of the Great Commission, the nations of the once Christian West have gone into reverse and started decivilizing themselves. And we should not forget that the virtues and ideas that Western civilization has traditionally valued and espoused as essential for the creation and preservation of a civilized society have been the fruit of a Christian way of life and a Christian culture.